are some very powerful weapons and unlocks in Star Wars Outlaws that will make you much stronger in combat. From a mod for your blaster that lets you one-shot enemies to an item that allows for one-hit melee kills, there is a lot to go over. And yes, the best weapons in Star Wars Outlaws are of course the ones you can pick up, as every form of blaster rifle, sniper or grenade launcher packs a bigger punch than Case Pistol. The most powerful of these are the heavy weapons like the rotary cannon, as some types even include their own shield that protects you from incoming fire. If you manage to grab one of them during a firefight, you can absolutely decimate a group of stormtroopers, and as long as you're not being flanked, there is little they can do to damage you back. Heavy weapons also come with a ton of ammo, and there's a way to increase that amount as well, but first we need to unlock the ability to actually use them. Because these heavier guns aren't available at the start, you need to unlock the mercenary expert Rooster first to provide you with the proper training. You'll meet her in the Dolmak Refectory Cantina on Kijimi, and then the rest of her quest is not that difficult. After you complete her mission, you immediately unlock a new expert skill that lets you pick up these bigger guns. Unlocking Rooster as an expert also grants you access to the challenge for the I like this thing skill, which increases the amount of ammo on pickup weapons by 25%, meaning you'll get even more use out of them. And unlocking it is very simple, you just need to kill enemies with 5 different pickup weapons, so try out a couple of different ones and you'll have this challenge done in no time. But of course, you can't always rely on weapons dropped by enemies, as most of the time it's just you and your blaster pistol. Luckily, Kay's weapon of choice is highly moddable, meaning you can change the firing mode and improve weapon cooling to make it even more powerful. And while you unlock most firing modes by simply playing through the story, the most powerful one is actually an optional unlock. And this heavy plasma blaster mod is kind of insane, as it allows you to one-shot most basic enemies provided you hit them in the body or in the head. Even heavier units like Death Troopers or Gamorrean guards will not survive more than 3 shots to the head, and thanks to the insane accuracy of this mod, those actually aren't that hard to land. You can use it at longer ranges or hip fire to quickly finish close targets, so it's very versatile too. The only real downside is that it overheats pretty quickly, which can of course be worked around if you get the perfect cooling upgrade for your reloads. But I'm getting ahead of myself, let's talk about how to unlock it first. You need access to the planet Akiva and then head to the Alcazar bar on the city of Mira. You'll overhear a conversation here where people are talking about a high stakes sabacc table, so make your way over there, talk your way past the guard and meet up with none other than Lando Calrissian. He has something you need to retrieve for him, or rather win back, and you need to do so at a sabacc table in Kijimi. If you haven't played sabacc before, you're trying to get a pair of the same number, and you also want that number to be as low as possible, so you always want to switch out your highest cards to see if you can get the lower pair. Once you win the game, you need to head back to Akiva. Just be aware that you'll be ambushed in space once you reach orbit, and there's a little more fighting once you reach the quest marker on the planet itself as well. Nothing too challenging though, and once you complete the mission, you can immediately unlock the heavy blaster mod from the workbench on the Trailblazer. I've been using it in combination with the outlaw outfit to deal even more damage, which we mentioned in our best outfits video that I will link in the description. Of course, upgrades will help improve the heavy blaster as well, as especially the final one will help you pump out even more damage. In order to get it though, you want to play through the main story missions on Akiva for a bit, as this will help you unlock the scavenger expert Temin. He will help you unlock the hydro repulsor for your speeder, allowing you to traverse over deeper bodies of water, and then you can go over here on the map to find a trader willing to sell you the material needed for the final upgrade. And unlocking Temin as an expert is a good idea in general, as it also unlocks the ability to add the electroshock prod to your arsenal. This amazing tool allows you to instantly take out heavy enemies like Death Troopers from stealth. So if you're more of a stealthy player, you definitely want to make unlocking the shock prod a priority. You need to get 15 chalcopyrite and 5 ion cells, which are pretty common materials. But the big one is the charge emitter, which is a unique material you need to steal from an Imperial base called Excavation Site 12. It's over here on the map in the Great Basin on Akiva, so use your speeder to get to the island, then sneak in on foot and make your way over to the stands where you can grab the emitter from a chest. While that's all you need for the shock prod, you might also want to steal the commander's keycard and enter the cavern on the east side of the excavation site. All the way in the back is the Cyclone Relic Major Charm, which gives you a pretty high chance to refund a Bacta vial or grenade when you use these items. And by the way, if you like the video so far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss the next Outlaws video. Now, speaking of grenades, did you know that there's a way to make those more powerful too? In fact, the Hotfixer Expert can improve both the radius and the damage of your thermal detonators by 50%, so pair that with the Cyclone Relic and you'll be able to use your your grenades a lot more, and they'll be a lot stronger too. You should get intel to find this expert when you are grounded on Tatooine, which happens as part of that planet's main story. After that, just follow the quest. It's a lot of speeder bike riding until you eventually reach the Jawa Sandcrawler, and they will ask you to retrieve a Sarlacc tooth for them. You might remember this mission from pre-launch material, which included a shootout in a hangar after someone tried to steal the Sarlacc tooth from you. Well, turns out if you're fast enough during the speeder chase and your adrenaline builds up, you can just shoot him down before he ever reaches the hangar and skip that whole part of the mission. Return the tooth to the Jawas to unlock the turret for your ship, which is actually also a nice way to increase your DPS in space combat. Sure, it doesn't deal massive damage, but since you only have to press a button to have it automatically fire at nearby enemies, it's still a very nice upgrade to get. But we're here for the improved grenades, and much like the shock prod, you need a couple of common materials and one unique that we need to snatch from an Imperial base. This time around, it's Imperial Outpost 51, which is over here on Tatooine, and once you're there, you can grab the required material from a chest in the back building. And while grenades are good, your best tool for taking out a group of enemies is your Adrenaline Rush ability. The skill is unlocked by default, but it only allows you to mark up to 3 targets, which we can double by unlocking the Gunslinger Quint as an expert. Like the Jawas, she is located on Tatooine, and your first step to getting on her track is talking to the bartender at Mos Eisley's Cantina over here on the map. After you meet up with the character and complete the mission, you'll increase your number of adrenaline marks to 5, and then it's just a matter of completing the More challenge to raise that number to 6. Doing so requires you to kill 4 enemies with a single adrenaline rush 3 times, so just get yourself in a big shootout, fill your meter, and blast away. And while you'll mostly engage enemies from range, I was actually surprised to learn that melee combat is a pretty viable strategy too, provided you get a particular item. The Vibroblade Talisman is a major charm that increases Kay's melee damage by a very significant amount. You're effectively turning her into a one-punch woman, as most regular enemies will go down with just a single melee attack. Even on the highest enemy difficulty, most enemies only require 2 hits to take out, whereas without this Vibroblade Talisman, you're looking at a 3-hit combo at the very least. I also tried to test the charm versus Death Troopers and other heavies, but they tend to block frontal melee attacks, so I would not recommend using it against them. What does work on heavies though is shocking them, as then you only need 1 melee hit to take them out. So if you want to run a full-on melee build, make sure to equip the Surge module for your Ion Blaster. This shotgun-like electric blast can very easily stun enemies in place, including heavies, and it sets you up for a free melee takedown that's always a one-hit kill. Now, in order to get the Vibroblade Talisman, you want to head to Tatooine and make your way over to this specific spot. There's a tunnel here that leads to a treasure location, so go all the way to the back and move up on the right. You need to do a little bit of climbing, cross a gap with your grappling hook, and then you run into a tiny cave with a Jawa merchant. Behind it is a chest containing the powerful melee charm. And if you have more items or tips to make Kay even stronger, share them in the comments below. Subscribe to not miss our next Star Wars Outlaws video, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and if you want, you can watch our previous one on the best outfits in the game by clicking on the screen. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.